to be like a major contributor. And is there going to be any locker room issues? I don't think so. I think the locker room issues are overblown. I don't know why they got rid of her in like with the Sparks, but at the end of the day, I do think a lot of the stuff was overblown. But anyway, let's take a listen to what Odyssey Sims has said about the Fever fans.
Yeah, how much are you looking forward to this opportunity? Because there is plenty of talent here still in this team.
I mean, I'm excited about tomorrow. I know Indiana has great fans, some of the best.
Odyssey Sims has officially joined the Indiana Fever roster, creating significant excitement among the fan base. The veteran guard brings considerable talent to the organization, though questions remain about her potential impact level and whether she can serve as a major contributor to the team's success. Previous concerns about potential chemistry issues appear to be largely exaggerated. While her departure from the Los Angeles Sparks raised some eyebrows, most of the reported problems seem to have been blown out of proportion. The circumstances surrounding that situation likely involved more complexity than initially reported. During her first media availability as a Fever player, Sims expressed genuine enthusiasm about the opportunity ahead of her.
Tomorrow, I know Indiana has great fans, some of the best fans in the W, so I'm a little nervous just because there's going to be a lot of people. But I'm excited to play, actually put my jersey on. And like I said, to be around my teammates. It was my first day. It was great. I'm looking forward to many more great days. And like I said, just enjoying this, taking advantage of it. And, I mean, the opportunity is here, so it's up to me to decide what I'm going to do with it.
And that's the perfect answer. She's got the opportunity. And in fairness, Odyssey Sims on a hardship.
She acknowledged Indiana's reputation for having some of the most passionate supporters in the WNBA, admitting to feeling some nerves about playing before such large crowds. However, her excitement clearly outweighed any anxiety about the spotlight. The newcomer emphasized her appreciation for the chance to contribute, noting that the opportunity exists and the outcome depends entirely on her own efforts. This mature perspective suggests she understands the responsibility that comes with joining such a high-profile organization. When asked about transitioning between different teams throughout her career, Sims characterized each situation as unique in its own way. She stressed that this particular opportunity feels special, expressing amazement at finding herself part of the Indiana basketball organization.
She's got the opportunity. And in fairness, Odyssey Sims on a hardship Odyssey Sims last year was the GOAT. She was the damn GOAT. Nobody wanted to play for Indy. Jasif gets easier going to different teams. Let's take a listen here.
You've done this a couple times and been in situations to bounce around the league a little bit. Does it ever get easier?
I'll just say every situation has been different in its own unique way. I think this is a opportunity situation that is unique. I can keep saying that.
Her visible joy since arriving at the facility demonstrates genuine excitement about the circumstances. The veteran guard outlined her intentions to focus on building relationships with teammates, contributing positively to team chemistry, and preparing for the upcoming playoff push. She recognized that regular season games are winding down and emphasized her commitment to making whatever impact possible during her time with the franchise. The timing of her arrival creates an interesting dynamic as Sims transitions from being out of the league entirely to suddenly finding herself in the brightest spotlight the WNBA has to offer. The dramatic shift from unemployment to playing before sold-out crowds represents a remarkable change in circumstances. This situation can prove beneficial or challenging depending on individual perspective.
That is unique. I can keep saying it over and over. I can't even believe I'm here right now to literally be part of the Indiana Fever Basketball Association. This is amazing. So like I said, I'm excited. You're gonna see me smiling from ear to ear, like I have been since I got here yesterday. Like I said, I just want to continue that. Pour into my teammates, let them pour into me, win, and get ready for playoffs. Playoffs is around the corner as we finish up regular season. So.
Some players thrive under intense scrutiny and large crowds, while others struggle with the pressure and attention. The key factor often becomes whether athletes genuinely want to be part of the organization and embrace everything that comes with it. The departure of Danielle Robinson provides context for understanding how different players handle the Indiana environment. While Robinson initially cited family considerations for joining the Fever, her subsequent move to Atlanta suggested other factors influenced her decisions. The reality likely involved basketball-related disappointments rather than personal circumstances. Organizations sometimes make promises during recruitment that fail to materialize, creating frustration for players who expected different opportunities.
As long as I'm here, I'm just going to do my part, impact as best way I can, positive impact, and that's it.
But yeah, obviously she's excited, and it does seem Odyssey Sims is probably just thinking like, how the hell did I end up here? Like, I was out of the league a few days ago. Now I'm like in a situation where I have the biggest light on me in the WNBA. Like, I'm gonna have the most people watching me ever.
However, situations like Robinson's departure also highlight the importance of players who genuinely want to be part of the Fever culture. The most successful additions to the roster typically involve players who view Indiana as their preferred destination rather than those who need convincing. When organizations must sell players on joining, it often indicates potential fit issues down the road. Players should already understand and embrace what comes with being part of this particular franchise. The intense fan engagement that surrounds the team requires players who can handle both praise and criticism effectively. Online commentary can become particularly harsh when performance drops, though in-arena supporters generally remain more supportive and understanding.
I'm gonna have the most people watching me ever. It's gonna be full crowds. What the hell is going on? And you know what? When you're in the situation for the Fever, it's either a good or a bad thing. It can be a bad thing because sometimes you just don't want to play in front of those fans. And apparently, originally, DeWanna Bonner moved to the Indiana Fever because of her kids. And according to the thing last night, according to the Dream Game, DeWanna Bonner left the Indiana Fever because it was for her kids was why she left. She really hated her kids that much? And obviously, that is a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Players like Aria McDonald have demonstrated how to succeed in this environment by maintaining consistent effort and positive attitude. When hardship signings perform well and show commitment, fans respond with tremendous loyalty and appreciation. The key distinction exists between different types of fan criticism. Arena crowds typically remain supportive even during struggles, focusing their energy on encouraging rather than attacking players. However, social media commentary can become much more intense and personal when performance declines. Successful players in this environment learn to focus on teammates and in-person supporters while avoiding the noise from online platforms.
It's a joke. That's just a joke about her obviously going further away from her kids. And the commentator saying, I think something along the lines of like she left for her kids. No, DeWanna Bonner left for basketball reasons and basketball reasons alone. Realistically, it is what it is. She probably promised some stuff that the Fever lied to her on. Like, I don't think the Fever were angels in the scenario. But I will say DeWanna Bonner was the devil. But yeah, it is a big one again. Seeing
the most important relationships involve the people in the building rather than anonymous voices on social media. Fans demonstrate remarkable loyalty toward players who show genuine effort and commitment to the organization. Once supporters recognize that someone truly wants to be part of the franchise and puts forth maximum energy, they become incredibly supportive regardless of statistical production. The fan base distinguishes between criticizing performance and attacking character. While supporters might express frustration about on-court struggles or call for different playing time distributions, they typically maintain respect for players as individuals when effort remains consistent. Success in this environment often comes down to embracing the unique aspects of playing for Indiana rather than fighting against them.
A big one again, seeing Odyssey Sims, seeing like who Odyssey Sims is, seeing how Odyssey Sims has been as a player over the last couple of years, what she's going to bring to the Indiana Fever. And look, I'm excited to see. I am excited to see what ends up happening with her. I think she's going to be a pretty good player. And I think, look, she wants to be here. She wants to be here, and that is a key thing.
Players who accept the attention, engage positively with the community, and maintain focus on basketball typically find the experience rewarding. The pressure can feel overwhelming initially, but those who adapt to the intensity often discover that passionate fan support creates an incredible atmosphere for competition. The energy from sold-out crowds can become a significant advantage rather than a burden. For players joining mid-season like Sims, the adjustment period becomes compressed. There is limited time to gradually acclimate to the environment, making mental preparation and proper perspective crucial for quick adaptation. The most practical advice for anyone entering this situation involves limiting exposure to social media criticism while maximizing focus on building relationships with teammates and coaches.
Sims on the roster even after Clark is back. So this is a move that addresses the depth and hopefully helps keep the Fever afloat until the superstar is back at the helm. And, you know, you look at it and you see those little quirks. Chloe Peterson of the Indy Star had that, and I want to make sure she gets credit for that. But the Fever technically have room for up to 2 hardship players. If Sims is the only one they sign, they don't need to release her once CC returns. If the Fever decide to sign another hardship player, they would need to release either Sims or the second hardship player once CC.
Digital platforms often amplify negative voices that do not represent the broader fan base perspective. Ultimately, success depends on individual mentality and approach rather than external circumstances. Players who maintain professionalism, show consistent effort, and embrace the unique aspects of this opportunity typically find the experience positive regardless of statistical contributions. Indiana Fever executed a logical and sensible decision by acquiring Odyssey Sims through a hardship agreement. Sims represents the top available floor general in the current marketplace, bringing extensive league knowledge and readiness for various scenarios. Her consistent production throughout her professional tenure makes her valuable.
Player, they would need to release either Sims or the second hardship player once CC returns. So that means, you know, Sims can be a part of this Fever team the remainder of the season, I believe, if I'm reading that interpretation of the rule correctly. That Natasha Howard post I referenced, this is what it said, which is, we will always be fighting for each other, but we feel this fight is a little different with our girls out of the lineup. All the hard work they've put in over this season won't go unnoticed. Win or lose, just know we are fighting to the end for Sid, Cece, and Ari. See you soon, Cece. Now, of course, we don't.
The Fever have demonstrated success with former Los Angeles Sparks personnel, previously utilizing Ari McDonald under similar emergency circumstances. Sims must step in as primary ball handler during Caitlin Clark's absence, then provide backup depth once Clark recovers. Natasha Howard recently posted praise for the Fever's determination, concluding with "See you soon, CC," suggesting Clark's comeback approaches soon. Hardship regulations allow the Fever flexibility regarding Sims' roster status. If Indianapolis signs only Sims as their hardship player, they can retain her services even after Clark returns.
Now, of course, we don't know when Caitlin Clark is going to be back, but the Fever are reaching a pocket of the schedule where it would make sense for her to be able to ramp up. The next game is Tuesday against the Wings, but they don't play again until Friday after that. So a nice break in between those 2 games. And then another one I'm really circling on the calendar is August 22nd against the Minnesota Lynx, because they have a game on the 17th against the Sun and then not again until the 22nd. So there are windows there for Clark to ramp up her practice, get back on the floor.
However, signing additional hardship personnel would require releasing either Sims or the secondary addition upon Clark's recovery. Chloe Peterson of the Indianapolis Star provided crucial details about these roster mechanics. The Fever technically qualify for 2 hardship signings. With just Sims aboard, no release becomes necessary when CC returns. Multiple hardship additions would force difficult roster decisions later.
For Clark to ramp up her practice, get back on the floor, and be ready to return to actively playing for the team, because they still are in playoff contention and still have the ability to hoist a championship trophy at the end of the year. Now, Sims has actually spoken on Caitlin Clark in the past, and Fever fans will like what she had to say. This was when she was on the Wings.
I mean, everybody's been watching Caitlin. She's a great player. She's playing at a very high level, especially with her assists. Like, there's a lot of shots she turned down because
This interpretation suggests Sims could remain with Indiana throughout the season's remainder. Howard's social media message stated, "We will always be fighting for each other, but we feel this fight is a little different with our girls out of the lineup. All the hard work they've put in over this season won't go unnoticed. Win or lose, just know we are fighting to the end for Sid, Cece, and Ari. See you soon, Cece." Clark's return timeline remains uncertain, but the Fever approach a favorable schedule portion for her rehabilitation.
Because she was looking for her teammates. I mean, that just speaks volume of how she is as a player. I don't know her as a person, but she's a great player. What she does, what she's been doing it since game one till now. Got nothing but respect for her. She did her thing tonight. Just awesome all around.
So it seems like another high character ad for the Indiana Fever locker room, one filled with high character players. Sims, throughout her career, this is from the Fever press release, 11.2 points per game, 3-point assists.
Their next contest occurs Tuesday versus Dallas Wings, followed by Friday's game after a beneficial rest period. Another significant date is August 22nd against Minnesota Lynx, with their August 17th Connecticut.
Point assists, 2.5 rebounds. That's over 11 years. She's played for the Tulsa Shock, Dallas Wings, LA Sparks, Minnesota Lynx, Atlanta Dream, and Connecticut Sun. She made the All-Star team in 2019, All WNBA second team. She spent the first part of the 2025 season this year with the Sparks, where she averaged 9.8 points per game and 3-point assists per game in 11 games started. So, that's still productive. That's still productive. And you can look at the highlights and see what.
Her remarks demonstrated respect and admiration. "Everybody's been watching Caitlin. She's a great player. She's playing at a very high level, especially with her assists. There's a lot of shots she turned down because she was looking for her teammates."
Highlights and see what Sims is able to do. And this is with the Sparks, but she is able to get downhill. Little floater game there. That's against the Fever. Here's another look, navigating the screen, crossover to the basket. So you got to like that. And then a little outside shot. She shot the ball better from three recently than she has over her career. Just a 30 or just a 28.
I mean, that just speaks volume of how she is as a player. Don't know her as a person, but she's a great player. What she does, what she's been doing since game one till now. Got nothing but respect for her. She did her thing tonight.
Just a 30 or just a 28% shooter from three over her career, I believe. But nonetheless, better returns in recent times. So maybe that bodes well for how she can fit in with the Indiana Fever. But overall, I think you have to like that move for the Fever as they attempt to keep their season afloat and continue to try to buy time until CC returns, not to mention the fact that Odyssey Sims could help them even then. One other note out of the WNBA today, the Lynx beat the Liberty.
Just awesome all around. This suggests another quality character addition to Indiana's already impressive locker room culture. Throughout her career spanning 11 seasons, Sims has averaged 11.2 points, 3.0 assists, and 2.5 rebounds per contest. Her experience includes stops with Tulsa Shock, Dallas Wings, Louisiana Sparks, Minnesota Lynx, Atlanta Dream, and Connecticut Sun. Recognition includes 2019 All-Star selection and All-WNBA second-team honors. During her 2025 Sparks stint, Sims produced 9.8 points and 3.0 assists across 11 starts, maintaining solid productivity.